Hey everybody, this is going to be round 6 of my tournament run of ADV Rev 3. So going into the battle, if you don't know how this works, I am 5-0. I'm undefeated. My opponent is also 5-0. They are undefeated. So for game 1, this whole set, it's going to be a best of 3. So game 1, I'm going to be using the blue offense team, as the cool kids call it. So let's get right into it. They're going to start off with a Zapdos, and I have Medicham, so I'm like, well, I don't think this is cash money, so I bring in Snorlax, which is pretty much just a Blissey with attack power. They get a crit turn 1. I'm like, okay, well, judging by that math, I can't live 2 more Thunderbolts if I try to body slam me, so I just try to blow them up. They went for Protect. It's going to be a rough battle for David. I have to effectively beat one of the best players in his tournament now in a 5v6. So I go for a Thunderbolt on the Zapdos. They bring in Celebi. It actually did a decent amount of damage, to my surprise. I got a Lucky Para. I don't really care too much, though, because it has Natural Cure. And I just switch into Salamence. Maybe I could try setting up on it. But they switch out immediately, and they bring in, inconveniently enough, a Swampert, which sucks, because my Magneton actually does have Hidden Power Grass, so that would have been nice. So then I bring in Suicune, and then they just send back in Zapdos. I don't know why that turn went so fast, but here I am now in Magneton. There's a lot of switching that just happened there. They go for Protect. I decide I just want to poison this thing because they might switch out into somebody else. So that's what I decide to do. Thankfully, it doesn't miss. That would have been absolutely heartbreaking. This Zapdos has already killed my Snorlax. It's going to kill my Magneton right now. And check this out. I send in my Medicham right now. And I go for a Rock Slide. I was like, oh, maybe I can get some luck back from that turn 1 unfortunate crit that kind of pushed me into a corner. So I had to make a desperate play. I'm like, can I get the flinch? Nope, I get hit with a Thunderbolt, which is whatever. I didn't feel like missing, so I go for this super duper safe Brick Break. Kill that thing finally. That Zapdos basically took out half my team by itself. Menace to society. And then they just sent in this. Oh man, I hate that guy. That Aerodactyl dude. Fastest thing alive. It just goes for Earthquake. I don't even know if it's banded or not, and I honestly don't really care. You're wondering why I brought in Suicune, because I figured it'd be a good opportunity to go for Calm Mind, because they have the Celebi still. More importantly, they had Swampert, so I didn't want to Dragon Dance up with Salamence, because I can't kill Swampert. So I Calm Mind. They throw seeds all over my face. Kind of weird if you ask me. The Ice Beam did do a lot, but as you're going to see, they have a Cloyster, which absolutely sucks. I think I was able to put up with that Leech Seed if I played my cards right throughout this battle. But now they have a Cloyster. That thing basically effectively walls my Suicune, and it can just blow me up. So I'm like, okay, well, I kind of need to kill this guy. So I sent in Metagross, and I was actually kind of chilling right now. Like, I was in a really bad spot, but after I got this agility up, I was like, okay, if I play my cards right, I might be able to sweep them. So they bring in Swampert, not very good. But I hit him with the Meteor Cringe, and I do get the attack boost. Now check this out. I go for an Earthquake, and they're going to go for an Earthquake too. So mine did 41, so I can't 2-hit them. So they go for an Earthquake. It did 51. So I get my leftovers recovery, and that puts me 55. So I just go for another Earthquake, because I need to stay in and keep my stat boost to try and kill everybody. And, well, they got a bit of a higher roll that time, and Metagross is 6 feet under. Very, very sad. I don't really think there's too much I can do now, so I just bring in Suicune and try to go for a Calm Mind, which was a good idea because they did switch into Celebi. So now I can kill that guy and have a boost, which I would need to take down that Cloyster, or at least need some help taking down that Cloyster. But maybe looking back on it, I should have just went for Ice Beam right there instead of Calm Mind for the off chance that I... Oh, that's right. I literally forgot. They have a Pokemon that hasn't been revealed yet. That's why I went for Calm Mind. So thankfully it's Tyranitar. Bad news is it lived the modest +1 Surf. And then they just end up going for Dragon Dance. So I was like, well, it was a good run while it lasted, right? And they're sucking up my life with that one. They went for a Double Edge. I surprisingly lived, but it doesn't matter. I can just kill that guy, but I'll die to the Sand and Leech Cringe on the next turn. And then obviously my last Pokemon is Salamence. So I can win. I need a miracle. So I send in my Salamence, and I'm going to, as you're going to see, I'm going to flinch this Cloyster 2 times, but it's going to survive because it just has a lot of defense. And I lied, by the way. I didn't hit it at all. I just straight up missed the Rock Slide, and then they hit me with an Ice Beam. Oh well. Okay, game 2. Now, this battle was, I would say, a bit more ridiculous than the last. It was also a lot more meticulous, as you're going to see. This time around, I kind of held off on the offense, and I'm bringing the big 5 TSS, you know, which is known to be the sweatiest team comp there is in Gen 3 OU. And the battle went a lot differently. So they immediately start with a Dragon Dancing Tyranitar as I get a layer of spikes up. I was like, yeah, no, you can just leave now. So I go for Roar. They bring in this Jolteon, okay? So I have to go for the Cringe Protect, literally for the sole reason of just keeping my HP up. They went for Hidden Power. I did not care. I'm not falling for this trick. I know it wants to go for Thunderbolt. It didn't even matter what it wanted to do. So I bring in my most hated Pokemon in all of Generation 3 OU by a long shot, Blissey, to take no damage to that. And then I go for Ice Beam. Check this out. I literally froze that Skarmory and crit them turn 5. Evo! And then they try to thaw out, and then I just Fire Blast them and kill them. That was literally the most important turn of the whole battle, and my opponent was not happy about that. So they bring in Suicune, and Suicune... The problem with this TSS team is it struggles against Suicune, so I'm like, okay, well, I kind of got to poison this thing, and then it's going to go for rest if it has it. If it doesn't, then we're chilling. So I bring in Starmie to play it safe, in case, you know, they wanted to switch or something weird like that. Probably wasn't the best idea, but I did do that. So they go for rest. I'm like, okay, we're going to find out right now if bro has Sleep Talk or not. So, but I'm not risking it. I just bring in Skarmory because the odds are kind of in my favor. And it appears that they don't have it. They didn't go for Sleep Talk that turn. If they did, they would have done it. So I just roar them out, get rid of Suicune. Goes back into Jolteon. So Thunderbolt's not looking too cash money, so what do? You bring in the most disgusting special wall that was ever created. And you're going to see a theme throughout this battle where I basically keep sending in Blissey over and over and over again on that Jolteon because I don't have a reliable person to eat up that attack. You're also going to see a reoccurring theme throughout this battle. I don't want to beat the dead horse, but I keep poisoning that Suicune because I don't really know what to do with it for now. My Starmie doesn't have Thunderbolt. Now, I do have a Gengar that has Thunderbolt. I'm going to bring it in eventually. It has Explosion. So my... yeah, I went for Rapid Spin. Nice crit, by the way. I did that because I didn't know how long this battle would be. I didn't want to be like one of my previous rounds where it literally went over 100 turns. So I just wanted to preserve my serves. That's why I went for Rapid Spin. So they went back to sleep. And what do you think David does now? I go to Skarmory. And thank God Roar has as many power points as it does, because Suicune has pressure. So I have 30 roars, so they've got 14 rests, so that's the idea. And then I see this Gengar, I'm like, oh boy, well that's not wonderful. I go for the Cringe Protect just to see, and then, yeah, of course, it just goes for a normal Thunderbolt, nothing crazy. So I decide to bring in, who do you think? There's only one option for special attackers. And then to my surprise, I thought that they were going to go for a Thunderbolt and then maybe blow me up or something. No, I just go for Ice Beam here. It does a lot of damage. And they know that I can kill him with Fire Blast. It's a stronger base move. So I figured they'd bring in Suicune right there. So I brought in my Gengar. And I didn't want to risk it. I didn't want to risk this thing, you know, getting a turn to Calm Mind up. So I went for Thunderbolt despite that Volt Absorb Jolteon existing. And I made the right play because now the Suicune's going to run away, obviously. I was not messing around. I know it was super obvious, but I was willing to attack that thing to try and eliminate that guy. Because I also have Giga Drain, so I would have hit it that turn and then use Giga Drain the next turn to cover for a switch or something. That was the plan. But they bring in Jolteon, so Suicune lives for now. I should just be going for a softball now. I did not care. I knew they were going to bring in Suicune. I don't have anything really to kill this guy with. So I figured, okay, they're going to be going for rest, which they do. And I think enough's enough. I see Tyranitar, Jolteon, Suicune, right? So I decide, well, I'm already at full health, so I'm just going to get up 3 layers of spikes because that final Pokemon might not even be a Rapid Spinner. So, you know... So I understand I'm about to get hit with a Surf, but it doesn't matter because it's, you know, it doesn't have Calm Minds up. So I only did 29, which is 8 more than 21, you stupid. Roar him out, and I see a Metagross. That's wonderful news for me because Skarmory kind of, you know, gives Metagross a lot of pain and agony. So basically the formula now that I've seen their whole team is like, okay, I see what I have to do. It's very, very clear. What I have to do is keep sending. It's literally what I hate to fight online. Maybe I should be using this more often in tournaments. As you guys know, when I ladder, I despise Skarmory and Blissey. They are best of best friends, and they're very hard to remove. And that's literally what I'm going to be doing throughout this whole battle. The Suicune will continue to go for Calm Mind in an attempt to sweep me. I think their plan was they were hoping I would eventually miss Toxic or maybe pressure stall me, because they are pressure stalling me. I only have so many Toxic left. It looks weird in the replay. It says 13, but that must mean, I mean, if you multiply 3 by 2, it's 6. I must have 10, which would be 5 more, I believe. I might have got all those numbers wrong. Just delete all that. Don't even worry about anything I say. But once again, what happens is Suicune goes for rest, and then by the time I send in Skarmory and go for Roar, it's burned 2 turns of sleep. So the next time Suicune comes in, it'll always wake up turn 1. So that's the idea. This freaked me out. They hit me with a Hidden Power Grass, which I was very scared of, but I know Swampert never dies to anything, as we all know around my channel. So I was like, okay, if you actually do legitimately have Hidden Power Grass, well, then you're going to put me in torrent range, and then I'll just kill you with a Surf. I don't have to worry about missing. And that's what happened. So that's good, because now that Gengar is dead, my Gengar doesn't have to worry about missing an explosion, which I plan to hold on to blow up this Suicune in case things got ridiculous. So here they go again for like probably the 20th time by now. This whole thing lasts the whole entire battle. This Suicune, it did not want to die, so I just roared out. And as you can see, their other Pokemon is Tyrant. Nice crit, by the way. Don't think I didn't notice that. Their other Pokemon are Tyranitar, Jolteon, and Metagross. So, you know, that means that the only Pokemon out of the 4 that can heal is Suicune via rest. The other 3 are going to get eaten by spikes, and particularly Jolteon's going to get screwed over because it's susceptible to the sand. So we bring in Blissey, and here we go again, Suicune. I know it's going to wake up this turn, so obviously I go for Toxic. And it connects, so it puts Suicune on a timer. I don't know if I went for Soft Boil this turn, or maybe I went to Starmie to maybe hit somebody with a... Oh, yeah, I chose Starmie. Okay, they went for another Calm Mind. And I thought that they would... I think they did actually hit me with a Surf this turn, and I went for a Surf because, I don't know, maybe I'd get a crit or something. No, they went for Rest. Okay. So then, what do I do? Yeah, now I really, really, really know what to do, because I send in Skarmory, and then I get free chip heal there, and they can't do anything, and they can't switch either because all 4 Pokemon are grounded. If they switch, they're going to be in a really bad spot, because I'm going to hit 2 Pokemon for 25 each because of the spikes, which is a total of 50. So they have no choice but to allow me to roar them. So that's what's happening here. And they also can't really... They were kind of stuck. They were very frustrated after they lost their Skarmory. In all honesty, the spikes that Skarmory would have provided, I mean, I literally have a Rapid Spinner, so I didn't really care too much, but the main problem is that they could not get the spikes off their side of the field. And that's kind of what's killing them now. But that's why that turn 5 was so important, when I just, you know, froze them and then just burned them alive. They actually typed in the chat right there, GSC. I guess this is how Gold, Silver, and Crystal is, where nothing happens the whole entire time. And it's actually Blissey and Suicune, funny enough, fighting each other. Oh, and then I sent in another Gen 2 Pokemon, Skarmory. Some people think Skarmory's Gen 3. Can you believe that? Roar out Suicune again. And the Tyranitar and Metagross will be slightly more difficult to get rid of. I kind of have to hope that I don't get flinched there. Luckily, I didn't. That's nice. In comes Suicune again. And I should have went for a Cringe Protect there. I was kind of pushing it, so I don't know. I was afraid of maybe a Calm Mind, but this is perfect. I've now caught Jolteon. I can go for a Cringe Protect here. Does no damage with Thunderbolt. And that Jolteon's basically dead, because I just bring in Blissey here, and I just can click a move. And, well, no, I go for Soft Bolt here. But they can't do anything, because if they switch out, which they literally did right there, I no longer have to think about Jolteon. It is dead. It'll die on the spikes when it comes in. I never thought about this, but I was wondering, because I think there's an interaction where I was afraid of going for a Thunderbolt, because I think Jolteon would absorb it. But I think the spikes would kill it before I would even hit it. I don't even know why I brought that up, but I think that happens sometime. So in case I don't bring that up, just know that's what I was thinking. So once again, Suicune goes to sleep. This thing has 8 rests left, dude. I was fully... My plan basically is eventually when everybody starts to slowly die, because Skarmory could get flinched somewhere in there by Tyranitar, and it could get blown up by this Metagross. They didn't. By the way, spoiler alerts, that Metagross does have explosion. As if I even had to spoil it, because nice Meteor Mash miss, by the way. Every single Metagross has explosion. So Jolteon gets roared in. It is now officially dead. They bring in Suicune. And I just go for a Protect here because I figured they would go for Surf yet again. Oh, but that's right. They revealed that they had Roar, which I thought was interesting. So it's not that Roar doesn't really help them in this specific matchup because I don't have a Calm Minding Suicune myself. So I go for Protect because I'm like, okay, you're going to blow up this turn. And they did. They did. Can't really blame them. They kind of had to do that. So all that's left is Suicune and Tyranitar. So they roar me out because they're faster, and they just, you know, Swampert gets brought in. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for an Earthquake because I know what's going to happen. So Suicune gets low, and it's going to go for either Rest or Surf and kill me. So they chose Rest, which makes sense. I hit it with an Earthquake. Now it's at 80. So I just bring in Skarmory, which was... It was good that Tyranitar was actually still alive because now I can still phase out the Suicune. And now this time it's actually injured. It's at 80 health. So we go into Tyranitar again. And I figured, isn't it crazy how Skarmory just doesn't die? I figured this guy's going to get desperate and just try to clean me up with Dragon Dance. So I go for yet another Roar. I didn't want to go for Protect. I thought that was too risky. In comes Suicune. And then they go for Calm Mind. And then I roar them out again. And then, you know, Tyranitar. And what happens next? Yeah, so I roar them out here, and I think I actually switch into Gengar this specific turn finally. Yeah, because I figured they'd go for Rest. They can't kill me with anything else. And now that they did that, the game is over because I outspeed Suicune. I hit it with 3 Thunderbolts before they can do anything. They just die. And then Tyranitar can't switch in either because it has 26 health. So it'll die of the Spikes and Thunderbolt, obviously. So the game was over there. My opponent, like I said, they were not happy. They said, meh, insta-1, turn 5. So yeah, that was a bit of a silly battle. I don't think I deserve that at all. That Skarmory, because I don't have a Magneton on this team. My last Pokemon's actually, I have a Dragon Dancing Tyranitar myself. The Skarmory, yeah, I mean, I had Rapid Spin on like them. I think that was a bit of a weakness for them because no matter what, they were going to have 3 layers there. I just kind of had to, because my Starmie has Thunder Wave and Rapid Spin for Skarmory, so, you know, that's kind of a very, very loose game plan, so I could have figured it out somehow, but the main thing is Skarmory and Blissey are very stupid Pokemon, and this was a very clear demonstration of how overpowered they are. And I wanted to hold on to Gengar in case something happened where Suicune got a Calm Mind up or whatever, my Thunderbolts weren't doing much. And then I could just, you know, blow it up and then just, you know, win the battle. That was the game plan. That was a lot of rambling. Let's get to Battle 3. Okay, everyone, we're heading into the finale. So for Game 3, I'm going to be using a team pretty similar to what I used Game 1. It's not the exact same team, but it is a blue offense team. Instead of Medicham, I have a Heracross, and I lead off with the Salmons that's mixed. It's not the Dragon Dancing one from earlier. Let's get into it. This battle was a lot shorter than the second battle. So I see this Metagross right there. I'm going to slow this down a little bit. And I just decided to go for Fire Blast. They killed me with a Rock Slide. I was like, okay, well, that's definitely Choice Band. So I know I can outspeed you with Magneton. I just decided to trap them in to kill it because I didn't want to deal with this Metagross, you know, popping up out of nowhere and blowing me up later on in the game or something weird. That's why I did that. And I bring in Snorlax on the Celebi, who decides to go for Psychic. I was like, oh, Psychic. That's probably a more... I'm up against probably a more special attacking kind of team because that thing may have like Calm Mind and Baton Pass plus like Psychic and a Grass move or something. They run away into Tyranitar. Don't get a paralysis on the Body Slam. Oh, well. They do go for Rock Slide. Thank God I didn't get flinched. Rock Slide caused me so much anxiety. I hit him with an Earthquake. It did a lot of damage. And they actually decide to go for a Double Edge this turn, which I think was the right thing to do because they didn't want to risk missing the Rock Slide. And then they would have to figure out how to kill my Snorlax later with 2 hits. But now that it's been weakened enough, it can get guaranteed 1-hit KO by anybody, including the Celebi, because Snorlax is like the slowest thing ever. So they click Psychic and kill me, and I was like, oh man, I'm in a bad spot. And I just decided to kind of go for a Hail Mary. So I bring in Heracross right here to just, you know, kill it with a Mega Horn straight up. And they send in a very, very unfortunately not good matchup for Heracross, which is like probably the worst thing to see. Maybe like Aerodactyls up there too, but they have a Salamence. And I was afraid of either HP Flying and or Dragon Dance. So I bring in Suicune. I was hoping maybe it's mixed or something, but it is physical. It went for Hidden Power Flying, and that 34 is a very uncomfortable number because when you factor in the Sandstorm, that's basically a 3-hit KO because I am not healing at all. So I go for Ice Beam because I'm like, oh, I see Salmon and Celebi. They unfortunately have a Jirachi, so it's just one problem after another for David. So I run away expecting maybe a Thunderbolt because they brought it in, and I got the Magneton to, you know, go for Thunderbolt on them. I didn't know what kind of Jirachi was at the time, but after it killed me with Fire Punch and also revealed that I had Psychic, obviously, the previous turn, I'm like, okay, this is obviously a offensive one, so it's not too tanky. So I decided to not go for Calm Mind this turn and to just go for Surf so that I could get Agility, Metagross going, and maybe I could try and kill everybody. I didn't want to try and Calm Mind because Jirachi has Serene Grace. Because if I try to rest and, you know, I got the Sandstorm working against me and all that, it would not have worked out very well, I don't think. And then I died to the Sandstorm. So all I've got left is Heracross and my Metagross. So the game plan here is to go for Agility and then kill everybody. And then they literally just got a crit with that Fire Punch. Yeah, and then they were popping off in the chat. And we're like, GG's. Heartbreaking crit, but... oh well, what are you going to do? And then they just outspeed Heracross and kill my poor little Stag Beetle with a Stab Psychic. Yeah, I kind of realized from that battle that Special Jirachi, pretty strong. It's kind of frail. It can get kind of screwed over by certain things, but like, there was just a lot of problems that I couldn't really get through in that match. I wanted to go for Agility, because I definitely would have lived Fire Punch, obviously. And then I can Earthquake Jirachi, and then... I would kind of need... it depends on what the Celebi and Salamence had, because I have a chance of killing that Salamence depending on its EV spread with my Meteor Mash. More likely than not, I believe. And then if Celebi didn't have HP Fire, then maybe a crit or something, or I could blow it up, and then Heracross could 1v1 the last person, but... yeah, that Fire Punch, unfortunately, a Death Sentence. I was actually more concerned with the Serene Grace, but, you know, a crit will do the job. So, GG's to... I don't even think I mentioned their name yet. I have no idea how to say that. SANKE CARP. As we all know, I do like fish, so that's a cool name. So this is the saddest battle, obviously, of the whole entire tournament, or rather the saddest set, because David's no longer undefeated. I know it's a very sad day. I am now officially 5-1. In case you haven't been keeping up with any of this fiasco, you need 7 wins to move on to the 32-person bracket. So David is that's strike one for David. You know, a few more oopsie poopsies, and David's going to be on what the kids call the chopping block. I'm too soft for the chopping block, so hopefully that doesn't happen to me. So what did we learn today, guys? Not much. Actually, you know, I would say I learned that Jirachi's kind of strong. If you liked the video, like it. Let me know your thoughts of how bad I battled. And that'll be it for now. I'll see you in week 7, where hopefully we don't end up 5-2. If I do, I'll still be in. You can't get 3 losses. Three strikes, you're out. One, you're still chilling. I'll see you.